Good evening. Welcome back to the Mancunian way. I hope you are all well. My name is Martin. I'm your host. And joined by Danny, Spartacus, and Dash. Rick should be joining shortly as well. Well, yeah, first of all, I hope everyone's on a lovely Christmas day or holiday or however you celebrate. Hope you've had a lovely time. I hope you've had a nice Boxing Day as well. Yeah, of course. And we're here to talk City 1, Everton 1. Meltdown version 16 is here. We will get into it. We will talk about it. But good evening, gentlemen. How are we all?
I'm doing better.
Doing all right, bro.
Evening, Rich.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So go on. Who wants to kick off? There's not even me. I'll tell you what we'll do. Before we even get going. And good everyone. Hello to everyone in the comments. I will get your comments up. I'm just going to go through the bench, the team today, and then I'll go through the bench.
That's it.
Because some are going to tell me about lineups, etc., and we'll get into it. But City lined up: Ortega, Lewis, Akanji, Aki, Gavardio, Kovacic, Savinio, Doku on the left, Foden, Bernardo Silva, and Haaland. On the bench, hey, let's go. Max Elling. Someone called Brits, who's a goalkeeper from God knows where. See, that's where my knowledge is. Didn't know he existed 2 weeks ago. Scott Carson, Kevin De Bruyne, Ilkay Gundogan, McAtee, Boom, Bama, O'Reilly, and Simpson Puzer. Yeah.
That's a bench.
That's what you call
What a bench.
That's what you call a 50p bench.
That is an excellent bench if you want to win the Premier League too. That is
not. Have you noticed no one talks about the value of our bench today? That never got mentioned. There was no £500 billion bench rolled out today, was there? Yeah, listen, I'm not going to go into it. Yes, Tone has left social media. I understand that everyone enjoys his views. Some people don't like him. That's your opinion. That's fine. I can only speak for me and the way Tone has been with me as a human being. Tone has been really good to me, really nice to me, never told me anything. We don't really always talk football, we just talk more general stuff, and he's always been a nice guy to me. Really helpful, top bloke to me. I know some like him, some don't. That's fine, that's your opinion. I just think social media is going to be crazy today of all days. It's absolutely flipped the lid. You should have seen a WhatsApp group me and Rich were in earlier on. Jesus Christ. I felt like we've been relegated 6 times over some of the comments, but hey, listen, it's opinions. I get it. Listen, I will be next. I will be the next target. I said to everyone a long time ago there was a target to get the older fans out of the shit. I will be next. I know I will be next. It is what it is. I'm not going to go into it because I'm not going to start, but it is what it is. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we lost a good guy today.
Yeah.
But I will be
Very
next.
good one.
I know I'm going to be next. I've already been. Because someone's already put one down. It's literally someone's put one down.
I can't now.
So here we go. And I said it was coming weeks ago.
I don't know, man. People are just weird.
I think it was the person who did it as well. Was put yes, did my target or something. It is what it is. Right. So go on. Who wants to kick off with the game?
Well,
I'll kick off.
Go on.
I mean, well, probably my opinions will be a lot more different to yours, but listen, I'll respect it. I won't go on off a tangent and start personally attacking people, first and foremost. But second of all, on the game, I think the first 35 minutes, I actually saw a very nice City team that pops off the ball well, knows their lanes. They're very composed, disciplined, but there's a little theme in the season where I've noticed when we're all good, when we're all kicking good, it's all going well, we thrive. when one moment of, how do I say it, weakness appears, we fumble the bag. And I think that's the story of the season. 35 minutes of absolute fantastic football, 55 minutes of dull and dross, and that's the whole theme of it. I mean, of course, Ake Akanji is what it is.
I agree with you, Darsh, with the fact with what you said about 55 minutes of dread and 35 minutes of very good football. But I also think context is very important. You could see some of the players like Vadio, he would do something amazing, just a small little trick with the ball to get past a defender or to get out of the press, and then do a stupid mistake. That is quite clearly because he's being overplayed. I feel like some of our players are like that, like they're just not fully fit, as we're seeing. I don't know, watching on the TV, I felt like Ake, for example, he was scared of running and he was trying to hold back because he knew if he ran too much, he was going to get injured again. So I feel like we have to caveat a lot of the performances with that because some of the players are just not fit, slash, they don't trust the defenders because they know that the defenders are not fit. So they're trying to avoid transition as much as possible. So they're having to take less risks. Like the one player that was trying to get to take more risks and had more freedom was Savio, and he did very well during the game. I feel like the start of the game he was very good, and then he started dropping off, and then the start of the second half he was very good as well, and then he started dropping off again. I feel like that's very important to say. Like players are just not trusting the back line, not because they're not good enough or anything, just because they're not fit enough to play. And I feel like everybody knows that.
Don't know.
I really liked how direct we were to start off the game. I've been very vocal about how annoying it is how we just pass sideways over and over and over again. I liked how we get direct balls into Holland. He'd knock it down and would really help us create chances. We tried to split the gap between fullback and center back a lot, which helped us create a lot. It got us the goal. Foden, I thought, was very good in the first half. I think Bernardo should have put the game out of sight before they even tied the game up. I don't see a lot of people talking about that anymore, but that should have been 2-0. And then just one lapse in concentration at the back. And I still think we lost our heads, but not to the degree we usually do. I think the confidence just left the team. I didn't think for 1 second Holland was going to score that penalty. And after that, we just didn't do anything. Savinho, I thought, was good. I still have a bit of doubt about his end product, but he was the only one really doing anything going forward. So shout out to him.
Yeah, I feel like the one thing people really forget about both Savio and Doku is that they're very young still. Players like, let's pick one of the best players in the planet right now, Vinicius Junior. Before he was like what, 24, 25, he was basically Doku. He was the guy that just got the ball, ran past the first defender, and then gave it away. Doku is basically that as well. He gets the ball, he runs at the defender, and then gives it away. When he understands that he needs to take a short break and think about what he's going to do, he's going to be a baller. But that's the thing. We need him to understand that. He needs to develop that into his game. And he showed it a couple of times, Bournemouth, when he got 4 assists and 1 goal, something like that. And against Nottingham Forest as well, he did that as well. He showed that he can develop that into his game. The thing is the consistency that he doesn't yet have.
Rich.
Well, I'm taking my brother, who's a season ticket holder. He texted me at the end of the game saying, "It's the turning point. I can't believe Everton didn't score with that 4-2." It's a good way to look at it because, man, that 4-2 was just, yeah. I think
Incredible.
everyone was wondering who was going to get the Everton winner, and then they managed to butcher it. I mean, I don't know what to say. I think it's fascinating just to show the fragility of the human body and the human mind, that the best team in world football for nearly all of the last 5 years, almost overnight, with one catalyst, Rodri's injury, and since then other injuries have happened, has gone from being the best team in the world to honestly, in every game since then, bar little patches, we've played like a lower mid-table team. And, you know, if you watched it like you were watching a lower mid-table team, it was, you know, an entertaining game. down the bottom of the league between two teams, you know, where either could have won, and it was exciting. But the drop off is astounding. And I know, Martin, you talked about how weak the bench is, but that starting 11 on paper, if you went back 2 months, is a starting 11 that, with the exception possibly of the strength of midfield, is world class. There are top players and internationals, and not just internationals for, you know, poor second tier nations. There are Brazilian internationals and Belgian internationals and Portuguese and English and you name it. I mean, it's a top side, and they've just gone to a place. That's what I'm saying. Their bodies and their minds are gone. They're not mentally fit or physically fit.
This is why I don't buy this with just shit. I don't buy this with just shit.
They're not. I think some of them have genuinely, you know, reached the end of their physical and mental tether after so many years of just playing at a level which was above everyone else and with an intensity in every way that was probably, you know, way beyond anything, of just cracked at the end of it. And it's kind of astonishing to see. I mean, but, you know, now we've got to accept we're going to have a real battle on our hands to come top 4, and that could be an exciting battle. We're still only 7 points off second, so, you know, you can't write anything off, but we have had for 2 months relegation form, and we need to turn it around. So the first thing
That's
I think
scary, 2 wins and a draw, and we could be second again. But we should.
But we are in relegation form for 2 months. 1 win in 13.
I agree.
Is relegation form, and so, you know, I think what Pep's got to do, and I was thinking about this. He needs to get a personality in to the dressing room, because it's such lack of confidence. You know, I think you said a second ago, you knew Haaland was going to miss. You could see Haaland was going to miss. Haaland looked nervous. Every penalty he's taken for years, he's got that confident, I'm a male stag about to go in with the girls. I can beat anything. You know, that look in his eyes, almost like a smile. And when he had the penalty today, he was like, his eyes looked scared. He just didn't look happy. So, you know, I think first and foremost, we've got to sort out the heads. Forget all the extra bodies and fitness. We've got to get that joie de vivre, that fight, all those positive aspects back in. So I think we need to go for, you know, I know it sounds silly and I don't mean at this level, but we need an Andy Morrison signing. We need a signing who's going to come in and shake it up a bit, who's really excited to play for City, who's got a bit of personality to rouse the players around them. And, you know, I don't know where you get that. Usually if it's an older player, it's, you know, not madly expensive, but we've got to do that. And then we've got to get a defender, a midfielder, and a forward in to actually give us enough bodies to be able to rest the players, because you just watch at the moment, and we watched that game knowing Ake should have some more weeks on his hammy, and you're just wondering when Ake is going to pull up with his hammy, because you know that's an injury that needs proper rest. And that's the problem with the game. It was, you know, are we going to concede the lose, you know, a second goal and lose the game? Is Ake's hammy going to go? And you almost had this game of bingo of the things that have gone wrong in the last 13 games and what was going to happen today.
I mean, I'm going to say something now because I know people are angry, and again, it's viewpoints. I thought first half we were actually okay. Thought we created some really good chances. We were quicker, hit the post. We were actually creating chances. Foden's been put. Thought Foden was a lot more lively in that first half. Thought Kovacic was really good. But first half we were all right.
We lost our way after the goal though. When we scored,
that's what I'm coming to. I think when we got the goal, it was really good. A great goal. Doku coming in was actually wide for a change. Then for some reason he got moved inside. I don't know whether he chose to come inside. I don't know whether that was a Doku thing or whether that was a Pep decision. I don't know. But I thought first half, yeah, we conceded the goal. Everton, the goal, people got to remember, we zonal mark. We don't man mark. We do not man mark. So what happens is any player we have can drop 5 yards off their man, and we're not going to go to a man. We don't man mark. If you watch, you had Rico and you had a Kanja, and both didn't know what to do. One's going to a go to him or not go to him. And can I just say, it was one hell of a finish, by the way.
Yes.
It was.
We have to give a little bit of props to the goal as well sometimes. I know we don't like to do that, but it was one hell of a finish. But should he have been allowed that space? I don't know. That's for Pep to decide on whether how he wants to do his zonal, stay in your little box of 5 yards and don't move tactics, I suppose. But them tactics have never done us wrong for a little while. I saw Sabio got a little bit attacked on the goal as well for not coming back, and Akanji got attacked. And there was also, it was like trying to blame somebody. Anyone was to blame anyone. And then the second half. Sorry, go on.
I don't feel like the issue was on the space that the guy had to finish. I feel like the issue was on the cross. That there was nobody pressuring the cross. He had more space than I have in my living room to watch the game. He had to cross it. So again, when you give that much space,
we don't close. We don't go. You know, we don't ever go to a man. We're having the same conversations. Do we close down?
I agree.
Or is it stay in the zone and get the ball in?
Mm-hmm.
This is what I mean about the craziness that we do.
I thought Rico had a couple of those moments as well, where he sort of backed out of a duel and Everton were able to counter. I think there was one where there was a 50-50 ball in our attacking half, and he backed off instead of going in for it. And can't remember if that started the 4v2 or if that was something different, but I don't know.
I think it's before. The trouble is we don't get the players back. Like, I mean, I've seen so many people saying, "Oh, Rico should have been behind and D at goal." If he was, he would have just stepped forward and tapped it in first time without anyone there. I mean, we should, you watch any team against us, they don't have 2 defenders against 2 attackers. They have 3 or 4 defenders against 2 attackers. And the problem is, for that goal, and it's happened 4 or 5 times this season now, Rico or Walker have been in front of the last player because they've had to be, because the player in front of them is a player for the other team. And we need to get that extra player back, and that's tactical, and Pep needs to figure that out. Because if you go in front and the player gets the cross past the defender, they've got a free chance. If you go behind them, they've got a free chance. So you've got to have 2 players there to stop goals. If we keep thinking we can let people cross into our box with 2 defenders back, with 2 forwards, we're going to concede goals every second attempt, because you can't. You have to have that extra man, and whatever our tactics are doing in terms of the way we're setting up, whether it's our wingers have got lazy at pulling back, or whether it's the midfield haven't got the legs, we've got to fix that, because you cannot just rely on man in the box with crosses coming in. It's just 50-50. It's like tossing a coin on whether you want to concede, and it's stupid. And Pep's got to fix that. I suspect now we just haven't got the legs of the players to do it, and that's part of the problem. And that's got to be addressed. It's got to be addressed.
Especially when you have a player like Rico in the back post who's not particularly strong physically. You cannot leave him 1v1 to challenge for the ball. If you have an Akanji or a Walker, that's something he can make the physical challenge. But when you have a Rico, he's just not going to win it.
By the way, you won't get ping pong in Jan. So, and is that Ichigo? Are you talking Jan of the summer? You're not getting ping pong in Jan, mate.
Look, we can definitely sell him. I mean, for Rico,
you're not getting ping pong in Jan.
Yeah, I mean, for Rico Lewis, it's just a fact that for me, when I'm seeing at the back post, I see it 3 times now. And if I was Kyle Walker, he'd be absolutely destroyed. And I've seen it 3 times. And I thought to myself, is he learning that you have to look over his shoulder every single time for the cross? Or is he just bursting in full steam? Because I think it's more of a learning issue if you think about it. Like, mistakes don't happen just by itself. Some things either happen either functionally or just by a learning pattern. And I think the majority of our squad are doing mistakes which are a learning pattern. Whichever it may be, whatever the person may be, it's up to them to think about and resolve. But it's just
I think there's some learning there, but I still think it's about that extra player. And if it's a Kanji or Stones or someone, they'll do something. But you still don't want to leave players 1-on-1 with a forward in the box, because if the ball's good and the ball's set up for the forward, not the defender, they are at best on their back foot, and you don't want that, because if it's quality forward, they'll get a goal, and we've got to figure that out. And it does make it even worse when it's an inexperienced small defender, because they're also going to be suspect to anything going in the air, because you can't put Rico up against Calvert-Lewin as he was at one point in the air, because that's not a question of Rico not being any good or not being experienced. You just can't put a 5'7" player up against a 6'3" player and expect that they're going to match them, because on average they won't. And we've just got to figure, and that's tactical. They've got to figure that out with the midfield. Who is going to go back so that we're not constantly one-on-one in the box? I haven't seen one team against us be one-on-one in the box with us all season. We seem to have about 3-on-1 in the box. So it's not that hard, because every coach in the Premier League seems to be able to master it, except City.
Just need to, Julie, thank you for renewing for an 18th month. Really do appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm just going to say this very, very quickly. My issue at the minute, because I have seen people talk about bring youngsters in, and I've heard it all before, but I'm going to say this. Rico is a youngster. Rico is from our academy. And fans have already turned on him. So why would any other youngster come into this team then? Because this is my thing right now. It's just one second. This is my thing right now. This Rico stuff. So you bring in another player. We've seen Simpson Poozy get attacked on social media after his Sporting and his Brighton display. Then we want Rico in. So now you want this is my thing right now. It's all right going, I want a change of attack, I want a change of midfield, I want a change of this. Right. Everyone get a pen and paper ready. So I'm going to tell you the amount of injuries we had today. Just today. No Edison. No Diaz. No Grealish. There was about another 5 more. Oh, Ake's gone off injured again, so he wasn't fit to even be on the pitch, but he's come off injured again. There was loads missing today. Who else was missing? Don Grealish.
Walker.
Diaz. Pardon?
Walker's
injured. Walker was injured.
Walker's got the flu.
Well, I don't. He's had about 3 different injuries in the last week. Rich.
Grealish or Walker.
We've done Grealish. There was 8 in total. There's now 9 with Ake. I'm just trying to get the full list. Stones is injured.
Bob
is injured. Rodri's injured.
Ruben Diaz.
Ruben Diaz, we did. Mateus Nunes is injured.
I'm up to 9 right now, man.
Yeah, Mateus Nunes. Oh, and KDB was not fully fit. And Robin, you go excuses. Who would you have played today? And don't tell me Max Allian. You didn't know who Max Allian was a week ago, mate. And don't tell me you did, because you didn't. And you can't say it's excuses when it's an actual reason. There is a reason. There was 40% of our first team out today. 40%. What Pep had is all Pep had.
And I said this. I said this before.
There's no more to go with. So it can't be an excuse. Bernardo Silva is not having any rest. Ake is playing injured.
Walker as well.
What do we do? We always said this would get to January.
We get the old checkbook out.
No, but Rich, we always said this was get to January. Nobody's given us the opportunity to get to January. Nobody's allowing us to get to January. They want us to cancel contracts now. We can't even get to January.
Yeah.
Rich,
but to be fair, yeah.
By the way, I saw someone today.
We've got injuries.
Hang on a minute. No, I'm not having this. I'm going to cut. No, Rich, I'm being serious now. Cade earlier, and I'm sorry, Cade, for doing this. You named me 9 players earlier who were selling. Are we playing a 5-a-side team next season?
I thought we'd already
5-a-side.
agreed. We're playing 0-0-0-0 formation.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. We can't sell 9 players. Someone said, well, we'll give Wilson Espend a chance. Coventry City didn't want to give Wilson Espend a chance, and you want City to play him at left back. Come on, what we doing here?
Yeah, and also like even when we say like get a checkbook out and buy players in January, some people are actually thinking we can buy a player in the 1st of January and get him playing by the 4th, and he's gonna be in the team like he's been playing for like 5-6 seasons under Pep. They're not gonna be doing that. If we buy a player in January, he's probably gonna be playing proper football for Pep, and especially a midfielder. That's the place we need the most. He's going to be playing decent football by March, or probably, because it's not easy for a midfielder to be going into Pep's system. You got to understand the game at a fundamental level, the way that Pep wants you to understand it. And you just can't randomly just drop into a midfield with Pep Guardiola and just start balling. That's not going to happen, especially as a 6.
Spartacus on this, Rockets player, using coverage could bring fresh energy and hunger. I agree with you, but here's my question. Right, because everyone says James McAtee. James McAtee has played 2 full games this season in the Carabao Cup. Right, wrong?
Yeah.
Correct.
And tell me, was he man of the match in either of them? Was he a 5 out of 10 in either of them?
This thing about
No,
McAtee is the thing that I don't understand.
But Martin, you, Tone, and LB had the same thing with Nunes back in September. So it's
But Nunes scores in them games.
Yeah, no, but it was about giving him a chance. You don't want to give McAtee a chance.
No, because James McAtee's invisible, mate, at the minute.
Yeah, but he has
James Nunes is a £55 million signing down here, Portuguese international.
No, but he hasn't been given a real chance. That's my point. You play him with the B team in 2 cup games.
So would you drop Foden and KDB for McAtee?
I drop KDB. He doesn't look like he wants to be playing for the club right now.
He's not even starting.
All right, so the thing with the youngsters, Jacob Wright, when he played, I would argue more with Jacob Wright than I would McAtee. Tell you why, because Jacob Wright looked like he was trying in them games.
Wright and Riley are the 2 I'm surprised about. Not
McAtee didn't look like he gave a damn. He didn't look like he cared in them games.
Yeah, Riley's got, and I think right because of the game against Spurs, and he looks like he wants to be playing. He's trying. Riley maybe less because what he did was more pre-season, was more his physicality, was more his size and his pace and stuff like that. Has something we don't want. But the trouble is, neither of them would be coming and able to play that defensive midfield role. They'd be being chucked in at the 8, and I'm not sure that's. I think people think they can come in and solve a problem that I don't think they can, because I don't think you can bring any kid anywhere in and just say, right, you're going to come in to this side that's lacking confidence and just play like Rodri and turn the team around. Which,
and it's not one kid. We'd have to bring 5 or 6 in.
And ultimately that's the problem. So we've got to figure out. Firstly, we've got to get some players actually rested, which means we have got to try and get players who are playing January, not March, because we can't wait till March. Which is why I think we should be considering, we've got to consider players who've played for City, who have played for a Maresca or, an Enrique, a coach who plays very similar. And we've got to be smart on those signings, because we can't afford to just take a wild punt on a player and expect them to land. So there'll be Spanish players who have the technique and the style to come into a Pep side quickly. There'll be ex-City players. There'll be players who've played, and not that I think Arsenal would sell us anyone, but players who've played for the likes of Arsenal, played for, possibly for Maresca, etc. But we've got to be really smart. We can't go and sign a kid playing Ancelotti football from an Italian side and expect them to fit. They've got to be close. So, I even think we've got, we should be considering swallowing our pride and looking at a player like Harwood Bellis, who's come up through the City system, is battle hardened, and Premier League hardened, but not because I think he's necessarily going to start every week, because I think he could come in as a body and enable us to rest players. And we've got to be smart like that. And, in midfield, he's got to be a top quality player. And it's, you've got to have probably, for Pep, someone who's played for a similar side, playing similar football in Spain, to be able to come in and fit in. So we've got to be smart. And if we do that, we can then rest Ake for 2 weeks. We can then rest Stones for 3 weeks, and we can actually get those players fit. And once we've actually got that basis back, the season's not all over. We're not going to win the league, but we can easily get top 4 if we turn our form around. Everyone's written off the Champions League, but the truth is we beat whoever it is for Belgium. We're playing at home, and there's probably a 90% chance we go into the knockout game. So that's one game against a team massively inferior to us, not at the moment, but in terms of what they got available to them. So we've got a lot to play for. In January and early February, if we do things right, we can easily be back in the battle to come, certainly to come fourth, and back going into the knockouts in Europe. And you don't have to be informed to do well in Europe. Chelsea, Liverpool, Real Madrid have won in Europe when they're absolutely crap domestically, because they've prioritised the rested players. So there's a lot to play for, but we've got to get the next 3 weeks right. We've got to get some points against Leicester and West Ham, at least 4 points to stop the rot. And then we've got to start getting a couple of bodies in to, enable us to start to rest the players and start to get some confidence back.
I just need to, Buxton, I know what you're saying, I agree. Some of them is easier. KDB's easy because he's out of contract, not easy to replace. Walker's not so easy because he's still in contract. Edison, you got to get a buyer. This was the problem, Buxton, last summer. No one was willing to pay the fee we wanted. So that's not easy. Wilson Esbrand is easy. McAtee is easy. Gundo, not so much because he's contracted until 2026. John Stones is not easy because he's on $250,000 a week and he's contracted to 2026 and he's injury prone. So who's going to buy John Stones for any decent amount of money and give him $250,000 a week? Bernardo, nobody touched him at 50 million quid. And he's on $300,000 a week. So 2 or 3 of there are not easy to get rid of because it's all right getting rid of them. The problem is you need buyers, and not at 5 million quid. City can't spend 500 million. That's all. That's the problem with it. You've got to be careful. This is not as easy as people think it is. This really is not going to be that easy. Judge, it's your opinion, mate. I don't agree, but it's your opinion. You think Pep's done? It's fine. I have got something I want to say on Pep in a bit. It is what it is. But I'll make my point in a bit.
I feel like we should be trying to go for a player like I don't know. I've seen a couple of Chelsea matches, and I feel like Lavia has not been starting. I don't know if he's injured or not, but if he's not starting, we might want to try and do something about him, try and get him back or something. But I don't think City would do that at all.
Right, because we had 2 chances to get him back. Pep didn't want him.
Yeah.
I tell you what, though, Chelsea are not a bad team to look at.
Hang on, they got beat by that shit Fulham team that we only just beat.
Yeah, but they've got a lot of players. They've got a lot of players they would sell.
Fulham are shit. No, Rich, you're not having it. Fulham are shit.
And they've also...
No, Rich, stop. I had this for 3 months. Fulham was shit. How did we only just beat a shit Fulham team that Liverpool couldn't beat and Chelsea couldn't beat? Or maybe, just maybe, I've got to be so arrogant
Arsenal couldn't beat them.
Slap everyone 5-0. Sorry.
Yeah,
I have to get rid.
I know, but I'm just saying that Chelsea are a team we should look at because they're a team who need to sell for PSR. They're a team who has players not playing.
Who's come up with this? Rocket, have you been watching LB shows? I know now who's from LB shows because they're coming out with the exact lines LB says. This is how I know they're from LB shows.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what I'm you know.
Is LB
I
in the
don't know
chat?
yeah, I don't know that Luis has got the intelligence for City, but
Juventus aren't going to let him go. Where's this
After
Juventus
just
letting
signing him.
him go come
Martin, anyone will let anyone go if you pay him enough.
Not on loan.
Not on loan.
That's what they're saying.
If we
Bring
went
him
to
on
Madrid
loan.
and offered him $500 million for Mbappe, they'd sell him. I mean, anyone will sell anyone for the right amount of money. The trouble is, a lot of clubs would only sell people for absolutely stupid money. But there are players who, there are players out there who Kimmich is a player we could get if we wanted him. If we were prepared to pay him, we could get him, and Bayern would sell him. And there's a lot of players out like that. But City have got to, it's going to be a bit of a hurting our pride. We're actually going to have to do things that we don't want to do in January if we want to turn the season around. We've got two choices. We either try and do things the way we always do it and wait for the really good deal and hold on and negotiate and walk away. And if we do that, then there is a real danger we won't get a proper fit team for the rest of the season and we'll drop out of the Champions League. And that'll cost us a couple of £100 million. And we'll probably also butcher the World Club Championship, which is the first time it's ever happening. And I suspect that whilst it seems like nothing today, it will become something one day. So we've got that choice, or we can swallow our pride a bit and actually pay a bit more, take a couple of risks and, get ourselves in the top four and, make a big fist of the rest of the season. And, I think Pep quite clearly is now thinking, I want to become a miracle man and leave City with an amazing team in 2 years' time, or 2.5 years' time. So he's not just going to want older players to fix short-term gaps. He's going to want a mixture of the real future. So I think we go out and we give some chairmen some real headaches by putting offers down that they aren't going to get in the summer and give them something to really think about.
Is that right? Couldn't you as well, permit? Oh, right, where I left us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Listen, I understand everyone's. I mean, Pep's gone soft. What do you mean he's gone soft? The reason I'm asking this, Jeremy Dokugo, and I appreciate what you're saying, who did you want him to play today? And we're just focusing on right now, today's game. Who did you want him to play?
I would have played Simpson Pusey so we don't get all these injuries to our defenders. I don't know what's going on. We keep playing 40% fit players. I mean, shout out to the players for making themselves available. But at the end of the day, it's
what do you do if Simpson Pusey plays against Leicester and drops an absolute stinker and we get beat 3-0?
He's young. He has time to learn.
No, Danny, that won't be the excuse. All right, then. So I can go 1 win in 14 because we had a youngster in.
Well, we should put him in earlier. I
you
don't know.
can't. This is what I mean. We can't. Which point does it stop being a youngster and they don't get slated? Because Rico's an EDS player.
Is he, though? He's been in our team for 3 years now.
He's not, Rico played, what, 2 EDS games in his whole life? He skipped EDS.
Yeah, that's true.
Why has no one mentioned that yet? I don't mean why has no one come out and said Rico never even played at EDS level?
I just do not understand. I just do not understand the amount of talk about Rico. It's almost like we have online bullies who pick on the smallest player just because they're the only one who they think they could bat. It's like being at school, because there's plenty of games where Rico's been far from our worst player. There's plenty of games where he's tried by far the hardest of anyone in our team. And there's plenty of games where he's actually been expected by Pep to bring the ball out of defence nearly every time, to be on the edge of the box as a number 10, and then be back at fullback defending when the team comes at them. Something that I don't know that there's a player on the planet who could do what's being expected of Rico at times this season. And the amount of abuse he's carried when there's been 8 other players who've done less than him in a game, it is almost like being at school and he's the smallest. So people think, oh, we'll pick on him. It staggers me. And I think to do that at his age, you know, the character he's showing is incredible. But he's being expected to be a number 10, a world-class right back, a world-class left back, a holding midfielder. I mean, who on earth could do? I mean, Rodri could barely do that, and he's the best player on the planet. He struggled at playing fullback and doing what he couldn't move around like Lewis has been expected. I just think, you know, it just gobsmacks me. And then it's never going to be good enough. This teenager, he's had a man of the match in Europe for his international side, multiple ones in the Premier League, and you know he's doing this as a teenager in a side that's falling apart around him. And then some people want to put the booting on him.
And Rich, I feel like we can see a consistent pattern to Rico's performance. He starts the game very well, and then as the game goes on, he starts getting progressively worse. That's because he's doing too much, and he's probably getting tired both physically and mentally about trying to think what he has to do, and that's just too much for a kid his age to do.
Yeah, I think it's too much for a world-class 26-year-old to do. I think Pep's putting too much on him for me.
I agree.
Way too much.
I agree. But I feel like
it's his goat too.
Go on.
It is down to his goat too, because it's the fact that he's playing in multiple positions. He can't learn from each position at a time. Because if you look at some of our players, for example, if you look at Rob Silva, when he went into left back, he had to be known for the stage. Rico Lewis has just been rushing into that position, especially from the England squad as well. We've been shoved in by left back by Lee Carson. And I thought, you know what, I can use that in for the short term. It's not going to help him develop well. It's down to his growth so much over time. And even for other players as well, if we bring him in, such as Jeremiah Huzo, imagine he comes in, as left side centre back. All right, Walker's out, he can get a right side centre back too, or right back. It's not going to be healthy for him. So,
and then look what the fans do. The fans then compare him to Prime Walker at right back. They compare him to Rodri in midfield. They compare him to David Silva when he's at number 10. And they compare him to Guardiola at left back. And then he's slated because he can't simultaneously, as a teenager, be Rodri, David Silva, Guardiola,
I'm just having an issue
rolled into one.
Yeah, this is the thing.
Rich, I think with the way that Rico's been, looked at by sections of the fan base, we forget very quickly that this guy completely missed the under-23s. He never played it. He went straight from under-18s into the first squad back in the treble season. And if everybody's complaining about Rico Lewis's performances and saying that he shouldn't play or he needs to be back on the bench or even send him back to the academy, it's like, well, you know exactly what's going to happen. If he went back to the academy, he'd go there and absolutely tear it apart. And then all of a sudden, within about a month, everybody would start saying, "We'll get him back in the first squad." I think the big problem you have.
If we went to the academy, we'd sell him to Chelsea in January. He'd be playing like a world beater by February, and the fans would be moaning, "Why did we let another player go?" Because you don't go from international football and playing for City to playing in an academy. No players will accept that.
No.
So, if we don't play him, he'll go to one of our rivals, and then he'll be prime. He'll be playing one position. He'll be world class, and everyone will be moaning again. All the people who pushed him out of the club saying he's not good enough will be moaning. How dare the club sell him? Because
Rich, do you think everybody's waiting for the inevitable? What you're just saying there? Do you think everybody's just waiting for the inevitable to happen with James McAtee?
What, him becoming world class?
He'll go out the door somewhere, and next thing you know, he'll just become one of the best young midfielders in England, if not Europe.
I'm a bit less worried about that because McAtee's had nearly two full seasons playing week in, week out first team football. So and they have that saying in horse racing about whether a horse is exposed or not. And Palmer wasn't exposed. He played odd bits for City, so no one had really seen what he was capable of. I actually think McAtee, he's had two full seasons, so I'd be surprised if he comes on in the way Palmer or Rodgers have, because I just think we've seen too much. I still think he could be a good Premier League footballer.
Do we also think that maybe just the amount of abuse or backlash that these young players like your Rico Lewis's and your Simpson Pusies have been getting? Do you think a lot of it has to do with not to do with Phil Foden, but the fact that Phil, what he did coming up through the academy and the player that he's become? Do you think that what he's done has set the standard now for any young player that comes through the academy now into Pep's team?
I don't think
I think being to understand that it's different players. I don't mean like I'm not pointing fingers at Phil or anything like that. What I mean by that is like he set the standard now, and if even any one of the academy players comes through now, people are going to look and say, well, if you can't fit that standard, then you're not good enough for the team.
I think this is more of a situation of the problem that we're in right now. We're one win in 13. People are losing their minds. They're throwing in on Walker, KDB, on everybody. I don't think it's just because Foden existed that they're having expectations on the academy. I feel like even if Foden didn't come through, people would still be harsh on the academy because of the situation we're in right now.
Yeah, fair play. And each person to their own. And again, I've said before in previous shows, I'm sure you guys said in the comment section as well too, is Rico. I think Rico deserves not immunity from criticism, but you have to understand if you're going to completely miss one division of the academy and go straight into the first teams, in my opinion, you can have nearly all the time in the world. And as an 18-year-old, he's got more than just time on his side.
Patrick, you tell me one player in world football who could come in and we could play right back, left back, number 10, holding midfield, and in some games ask them to play at least 3 of those positions at the same time. I don't think we could go into world football in the transfer market and sign a player from anyone for 3 million who could do what some of the fans are expecting Rico to do for Pep.
It's just unfair.
I think we can agree that Rico is definitely, there's no, as far as I know, there's no other 18-year-old in world football that plays such a utilitarian role in a squad than what Rico Lewis does. And that is such a responsibility to put on such a young kid.
He's 20, but yeah.
Oh, is he 20?
He's 20, yeah.
I thought he was still in his teens.
The thing is, people want Rico to be prime Maldini at defending, prime Messi at dribbling, prime David Silva at creating, all in the same game. It's not even in the same season. It's in the same game. You just physically cannot do that, even if you're a seasoned 26-year-old professional player.
I mean, he's an incredibly strong-willed lad, but everybody has their limits,
Yeah, some people are going to get under his skin. Just the abuse is too much. I feel like people just set him up to fail. You cannot expect a player to be doing that.
Yeah, and I must admit, long term, I think he's a midfielder. I do see him.
He was a midfielder in the academy. He never played right back in the academy.
Yeah, I
just feel like he's so good inverting from that right back into midfield. I really just want to see him develop as a almost Philip Lund type of player.
You look at Spartacus. You look at it in a way where it's like I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see the 25-year-old Rico Lewis do this.
He's not good enough in any position. Sorry, I'm having issues with my laptop in a minute. We'll stop babying our players.
I mean, some of them are actually not adults. Some of them actually are not adults, to be fair.
And I think he's a baby.
Yeah, Rico can't have a drink if we win the Club World Cup.
No, no one
Savio can't either.
He can't celebrate.
This is what I mean. I don't think people assume. You know what you need to do? Understand how football works. You seem to think, just because I was at the academy. Because what everyone's doing is, I'm really bored of this now. They're looking at Cole Palmer. They're looking at, listen, some of you didn't know who Morgan Rogers was 3 years ago. And then you went, we should have played him. What, you're going to drop Bernardo 3 years ago for Morgan Rogers? Get out of town, was you bollocks. You're dropping Rodri for Lavia? No.
No.
Jesus.
To be honest with you, man. See, Morgan Rogers didn't exactly blow away the academy either. I mean, he was a solid player in the academy, but he didn't blow people away.
Then I think he said it himself after the City game. He said, I wasn't good enough for City at the time, so I just went on loan, perfected my craft, and then now I'm a City. He didn't say City level player, but I'm playing like this.
Yeah, no,
Some
you
are
know,
doing
this-
this hindsight thing.
yeah, but that's always been the case. You've had
These
people
players were in
doing
our
it for Chelsea
squad.
for years.
No, but Rich, the worst thing is they were in our squad when we were winning the treble.
Yeah.
Did you want to drop our players for quid
No,
and still win the treble?
It's like no one wanted to drop prime Frank Lampard for, you know, a 19-year-old KDB. I mean, it's
like, stop.
You know,
McAtee, sorry, Palmer chose to leave.
Didn't want to be here.
What part of this is nobody getting?
I don't. The other thing I don't understand is why are people going at Palmer? He wouldn't fix us right now. The attacking creativity is not the issue.
Yep.
We cannot defend.
If Palmer stays last season, he probably plays an extra 10 or 15 games, maybe scores a few more goals, a few more assists, but he doesn't get any of the hype that he would have had if he'd had that. If he anything close to the hype season that he had, if he had decided to go to Chelsea.
Yeah.
But Pat, even if we get the Palmer from today, we get the Palmer from Chelsea today, right now, and put it into City 11.
Who's in charge here, the club or the player? We said stay. This is the part. People.
Don't forget too, he was one of the rare signings, Martin, we made where we didn't have a buyback clause either. We just sent him
crazy
45 mil. See you later.
This is the part I won't forget.
Chelsea wouldn't agree to a buyback.
They didn't want to sell him. Pep said, "We want you to stay. You will rotate with Doku." He didn't want to rotate. End of.
City would
So
have accepted less with a buyback.
Do you know why he didn't want to go on loan? Because we'd been offered that stupid money from Chelsea. Chelsea would only give us nearly 50 million quid if we said no buyback.
Yeah, so it would have been.
We wanted a buyback.
We'd have sold him for
Chelsea
less.
said no. You know, people need to dig into this instead of leaving into what people are saying.
And if you stop to actually think about it, even if we get the Cole Palmer from today and put it into City's 11, we're not going to be getting much better than we are right now because we cannot defend. We needed a player like Romeo Lavia, like Bruno Guimarães, somebody like this to be able to shore up the defense.
Spartacus, this is my point, but Pep says stay or sell. Pep said stay. He said, no, I want to go on loan. So again, Palmer did not want to stay. Pep tells you to stay. I go, no, I want to go on loan.
There's a lot of talk behind Palmer.
Just think of Palmer in that United shirt, and it just makes things feel better. You just feel better. He's gone.
There's a lot of talk behind Palmer.
That's what I use. Yeah.
That part of his improvement at Chelsea has been getting away from Manchester and getting away from some of the distractions he had, and that actually he's been living a lot more professional lifestyle down in London than he was before. So the circumstances have probably helped Palmer. But honestly, we just shouldn't even talk about it because it's done. It's happened. There's no amount of, anyone can be right with hindsight. Any idiot on the planet can, with hindsight, say something and be right. We can all do that. It's pointless. It's done. He's gone. He's not coming back. And it's not actually going to do us any good beating ourselves over the head if hindsight could have been right at the time. So we should move on for it. I mean, I just find it getting really tedious, the amount of talk about Palmer. It's done. You don't hear Chelsea fans crying about De Bruyne and Salah. Well, at least I don't think maybe you do on some shows, but that's life. And it's not.
I'll go back to 5 games in. 5 games in, top of the league, we'd won 5 out of 5 or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
Did anyone mention Cole Palmer or Morgan Rogers or Lavia or Dick Van Dijk back then?
No.
Oh, so there we go. We only mention it when we're losing.
I didn't know Virgil had a brother.
I remember that now.
And to be fair, the mistakes we made, the mistake we made, Martin, and we talked about this on the show before the season, is we should have had a proper Rodri backup. We should have had a proper Rodri backup every season for the last 5 years. We tried it with Phillips, it went wrong. So But every season we've said that, and that's the one thing. And, you know, I'm probably a backup to Haaland. That was a glaring error in this season. I think we can say that the fans could see that. Everyone could see that. And the club did make a balls up not doing that. I suspect because they couldn't get some clever deal that looked really good through, because the club has got a bit carried away with how good the books are looking and how much money profit we're making. They have got a bit overexcited by that. And that has led us to try and think, and this is a bit of hubris at the club, you know, that we can simultaneously make 100 million every season and be the best club in world football. And that has led us to not investing enough for the future. And now we're getting our punishment for that. And it's fair enough. The club, you know, and I'm not just talking about Pep here. This goes up to the Sheikh and everywhere else. We got caught up in our own hubris. We thought we were a bit too clever, and we've had our wings clipped, and now we've got to go back and fix it. And, you know, January's the start of that.
Can I just say, Andrew, I know you're saying he didn't want to leave. He chose to leave, though. This is my issue with Andrew. Pep said stay or leave.
Because we couldn't guarantee him a role in the team. I think that was our mistake.
I don't believe this. I didn't want to leave. He wanted to go on loan. No player is going to dictate to Pep Guardiola. Is the tail wagging the dog or the dog wagging the tail here?
Remember, KD's beating
and he was making millions from the deal. He was getting, you know, a shitload of money, millions to sign on, and the bright lights of London. I reckon there's, you know,
I'm getting major things on. Oh, by the way, I forgot this. Sorry, it's my fault. There's so many. My apologies. Luke, thank you for a 6-month membership, mate. You are a legend. Thank you so much. Get over tonight, my Lifetime podcast. Top lads. And Massum with a £2. Thank you. A crazy idea. Play Rico in his position. It might work. He is in his position, though. He's a midfielder. What do you class as his position, Massum?
But Martin, I feel like
he's just a right back by proxy.
Well, he's not, because he never played right back in the academy part.
No, I mean on paper he is, and then he never, yeah, and then he barely.
No, he's a midfielder. This is what he said. He said that himself. From a midfielder.
No, what I mean is he's right back on paper, but then once he's on turf, he's anything but.
But who made him
a right back?
Who's made him the right back? Who made him a right back?
Pep did.
Pep.
Yeah. He's not a right back.
That's what I say. He's a right back in nothing but name.
That's what I mean. I don't know
That's
where
it. Not in position, but just in name. Yeah.
Came from.
Yeah.
This tells me nobody watched him in the under-19s. No one watched him.
I didn't. I just watched him when he played football for City.
No, but all right.
To put another right back, he just burst on the scene.
Right, you said right back, veered into midfield. Says who?
That's what I've seen of him. So that's.
I know it exactly. I'm going to ask Jeremy Dock, who go, and this is no sign you. I'm asking, did you watch him in the under-18s when he was captain? Look where his position wasn't right back. This is what I'm saying.
Well, no. He did usually start as the right back, but he would come into midfield a lot of the time.
Pep says it. Pep says what? Hang on a minute. You just said Pep said about Philip Lam. Because Pep's put in a square. We haven't got another right back because everyone hates Walker. By the way, Walker got blamed for today. He wasn't even in the squad. I did like that one. I did like that tweet from City Report. Atting Kyle Walker. He wasn't even in the bloody squad.
Yeah, I must admit, Martin. The one thing I don't understand. Maybe that's being an old fart who's been around for too long. I don't get some of the anger. I don't get why people get so angry about it.
Yeah, I'm going to get angry at my laptop.
I get angry with bloody. I'll probably be angry when
it's been in months.
Yeah, if the Scousers win the league, I might get a bit angry, or I might get a bit angry with United or something. But I don't understand why so many City fans are getting so angry with each other and with the players. The players are giving their all to us, and some of them are just haven't got anything left to give, sadly. And we've got every ounce of football and mental attitude out of them. And
Rich, you know
they
what the
just
problem
haven't
is?
got it.
You know what the problem is? We've gone into this season. It's like we've gone into race at Le Mans, and we've left all the tires at the factory, and there's water in the fuel tank.
Yeah.
Basically, we're going up against absolute prime quality football, other quality football teams in a race, and we've got like one arm time behind our back, and
we've won it 4 times on the trot, and we think because we've won it 4 times on the trot, we don't need to add petrol, and we don't need new tires. I mean, it is a bit like that. And the driver hasn't had a sleep since last year. I mean,
what you got to look at is you got to look at previous seasons as well. And I'm not talking about the successful seasons. I'm talking about the least successful seasons we've had under Pep here. What you're seeing with the squad right now is a correlation of what happened in Pep's first season. There's a lot of old wood, a lot of dead wood, and sooner or later we have to move them. Which is why I think the January and the summer transfer window, you're going to see a lot of similarities between that and the transfer window that we had leading into the Centurion season. A lot of a rebuild, particular pieces are going to come in, and there's going to be a complete revamp of the squad. Which is why, if history repeats itself, I can't wait for next season.
Oh no, tell a lie. I'm going to be honest with you. Tell a lie. He was right back, then he moved into DM. He wasn't right back at the very beginning. My apologies. Like I said, I will admit.
Yeah.
He started as a right back and then went to a DM.
Oh, I don't think he's a DM at all.
But honestly, I'm looking at it. He went to a DM.
No. His first few months, he was like an actual right back where he'd overlap and put balls in the box.
Then he went to a DM, and then let me go to UEFA under-19s.
He played left back against PSG.
Yeah, then he went to left back. Yeah. Then he was left back, right back with the under-19s. Then for Manchester City, he came in for Cancelo, if you remember. When Cancelo had his little throw. This laptop's going out the window. Sorry, I am getting alerts all over the shop.
City's Wi-Fi.
The interesting thing.
No, sorry. So what I was saying before is
I don't know what.
You got to look at. You got to look at. You got to look at. So squad depth and squad issues. We're in a similar situation as what we were in Pep's first season. We started the season well. We got injuries. We got figured out. Team started beating up on us a bit.
Except we had 4 fullbacks in those days, and now we don't have any.
But every single one of them was like 10 minutes older than dirt. But then also too, if you look at our form on the field as well too, this season, very, very similar to what we had in the 2019-2020 season when Liverpool won. Again, we lost Laporte that season. We didn't replace Vincent Kompany. John Stones was a shadow of the man he is today. We were terrible at the back. You remember how many games we started with Fernandinho and Rodri at centre back? Or we'd start games with Howard Bellis and Eric Garcia, combined age at the time of 35, at centre back, starting in top Premier League matches. What you see now is that we didn't bolster the ranks in the summer with the midfield. Rodri drops out long term. Then exact same things have happened as well too, and a lot of players have lost their confidence, or they're just coming to the end of that peak that they had for 4 or 5 years. Same thing happened too in that 1920 season as well too. We were so peak for those 2 years with the 100 points and then the 98 points in back-to-back years that sooner or later it was going to drop off. The only problem we had was Liverpool was still in the middle of that peak into that 1920 season. That's why they ran away with the league. So what you got to see is there's a lot of correlations right now between this season and a combination of Pep's first season and Pep's and the pre-COVID season. Basically, if you take a step back and just realize what we dealt with and the emotions that you're dealing with now, very, very similar to those 2 seasons. So I think the sooner people understand that, the sooner you're able to function, understand that, you've got to be grateful for what we've had in these last 4 or 5 seasons, just absolute peak football and just everything that we can imagine being Blues, and just be happy. And then, hopefully come January, we get the right players in, and, we can start giving some of our prime players a bit of a rest, and hopefully we have a good run and, have a respectable end of the season.
And like I said, by the way, I owe my hands up. I was wrong on Rico. I owe my hands up. I admit when I'm wrong. Do you know what I'm really sad about, by the way, at the minute? How toxic it's become. I never thought it would be so toxic to a point. What the hell, Spartacus is all over the shop here.
Yeah, my internet just went.
What's going on here? Right. It's so toxic.
You live next door to Martin.
No, what I've got is a McAfee. My McAfee antivirus license has gone. So what it's now doing is giving me an alert every 30 seconds saying it's found a Windows virus. So I'm getting 20,000 pop-ups appearing on my screen. So when I'm doing that, I'm closing about 25 windows. And I don't know how to keep up with it all at the minute. It's driving me insane. The thing is, the toxicity that's going down. There was some booze today. Listen, I get it. You pay your money, you pay your do whatever you want to do. I haven't got it installed, Milos. This is my thing. I haven't got it installed. I don't know where it's come from.
Martin, the thing is, there's never been a football team in the history of the world where
I've not made my point yet, Rich.
Where booing has helped. Yeah. There's never been a team where booing helps. So,
no, right. But I get, listen, you boo, you pay your money.
Pointless.
I'm going to be honest. This is just me. And I get called a main road wanker and an old fat because of this. But I'm going to be straight with you now. This team has won 4 Premier League titles in a row. A treble. 100 points. God knows what. And the first time of a bad season, we boo and we turn. And I'm going to get it's standards.
And I don't, yeah, but it's not tens of thousands.
No, it's not. It wasn't. It was only a very small minority.
It's
a small minority. I will agree with that.
Yeah.
But this booing stuff, it was by a minority. But do you know what makes me laugh then? You will have all seen this today. Kevin De Bruyne had turned round and walked off the pitch. He didn't clap the players. Yeah. Well, wait, they clapped the fans. Well, when you're booing him, do you want him to walk round and give you a round of applause? Which way do you want it? You cannot have it both ways. You can't boo him and then he walks off. You want him to stand around for give you all a round of applause. Thanks for booing me, lads.
Yeah.
Cheers.
The trouble is, Martin, and this is the trouble that happens, is that the 98% of fans who haven't booed and have cheered on the team, who were, it's like the amount of come on City, mate, it's like being back in the 90s. It's like being back in the 90s when we're 1-0 down to Chesterfield and the fans are, come on City, come on City. It's not something we've heard that much.
But we didn't boo when we got relegated to Division 2.
What I'm saying is that by not applauding the fans, the 2%
here we go, crying about the past again. VJ, we are the past, mate. We're an old fan base.
Yep. VJ, when I was in the crowd when we beat Forest the other week, when we went 1-0 up, everybody started singing City staying up, and I loved it.
We are.
Absolutely loved it.
50s from Main Road. I'm in my 40s from Main Road.
Rich and Martin get goosebumps when they start singing City staying up.
Of course, we're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
You know why LB? You know why LB doesn't talk about Main Road? Because he wasn't there, VJ.
Yeah. And VJ, crying about the past is just the world. Yeah, crying about the past is the world. If we weren't crying about the past, Christ, we wouldn't have Middle East problems and bloody, troubles in America and everything else. That's just the world. And we're not crying about it. We're enjoying the past. We love the past.
But they were booing around me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think it was 1 or 2%. It was 1 or 2%. You could hear that it wasn't concentrated, but there were some people doing it, and
you could hear it on TV.
Yeah, you could.
I could not hear it on TV.
You could hear bits of it.
Mike Lowen did. He tweeted about it.
Yeah, but it was a small number. It wasn't City fans doing it. Booing around the ground, and I just think that's a bit embarrassing, to be honest.
But here we go. Happy clappers, no critical thinking skills. Glory hunters, no critical. I'm not going to clue when we lose skill because I've never seen it.
Robin, it's not happy clappers. It's people who realise that having hindsight isn't intelligence. Anyone can look back and say, if we'd have done X or Y, then things would be different. Well, they might be different. Had we fixed these problems, we might not have won the treble and we might not have won the quad.
Oh, my God. I give up this. Do you know what? As LB sent his mutants in here tonight. Yeah. Hey, listen, JH, it's a joke. Get a sense of humour, mate. It's a joke. A joke. A little bit of fun. Robin,
just with the banter, come on.
But when the trophies stop, the fun stops. I get it, mate. I get it. Come on. What happened? Yes. You think we're happy?
What do you think is it, Bud? Do you
13?
think is there parts of the fan base that want to see us monopolize the Premier League? Now, given the amount of shit that we deal with from the Premier League, obviously with the charges, given the amount of crap we deal with from rival fans, do fans just want to turn around and say, "Well, screw it, we just want to be like a Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga or Juventus were in the Serie A. We just go and win 10 of the next 11, win 10 of the next 11." And
Pat, I think there are some people who are just not open-minded enough, probably critical thinking enough and sensible enough to realise that you cannot just be great forever and do everything perfectly. No one in the history of football has ever done that, and no one ever will. Even in Germany and France, where you have leagues that are dominated by a single team, they screw up and don't win the league. You know, we've had Lille and Leverkusen winning the league in Germany. It never happens. And people are just not critical thinking enough to understand that everyone is going to make mistakes, and you cannot be the best team in world club football for 3, 4, 5 years and not have a drop off.
Whoa. I have to ask a question. What the hell does this mean? Right, someone needs to explain this to me. Because this gets right on my tits. This gets on my tits, this. Martin, we are Manchester City. Get with the programme.
No clue.
sorry, Docky Goat, that's a very United thing to say.
We are Manchester City.
We're Real Madrid. We don't act like Real Madrid. Real Madrid
To be
won't
fair,
accept
Pat,
it. They can go piss off what Real Madrid won't accept it.
we have got a lot of fans who, whether we like it or not, we have got a lot of fans who started supporting City.
I'm losing my
purely
tits
for
today.
And it's really funny. A couple of days ago, we were around a mate's house, and they've got
Stop laughing. Get on my tits.
their daughter is 15. Is a really good football player, and has supported City because good. And she was actually saying she was quite glad City weren't being very good at the moment because everyone calls her a glory fan, and it's actually
no,
Rich,
Rich,
been terrible for a bit.
Rich, go away. Right, Rich. No, not doing it. Right, Jeremy Duncan. Right, we're going at it here for the time. Right, listen. What do you mean with fighting with Madrid? What's this bollocks? What is the fighting with the Madrid about?
He's taking a piss.
Well, at this stage, we'll be fighting them for a qualification spot.
4 weeks ago, I got told.
Oh, we are, fighting them for 24th place.
Fight them for 24th.
We are. We're fighting for 24th place with Madrid and Paris.
You know, I got told.
I think you guys are missing. I think you guys are missing the whole point here. It's like I wouldn't mind the Europa League spots this season. Did you see where the next season's Europa League final is?
Istanbul, mate. Let's go.
Istanbul, let's go.
Back in Istanbul. But the difference is, it's not at the bloody Ataturk. It's at Besiktas Stadium. So we can all just walk from we can all just walk from Novi Sad to the ground. We don't have to worry about 3-hour bus rides.
Yeah, can I just ask? That's actually a very good point. Thank you.
Fancy it away, Dan. I fancy it away, Dan.
We were the guys who got manager after manager sacked. Not just manager. We got the frigging chairman sacked. So kiss me ass.
You mean you were involved with getting the chairman sacked?
Yeah. So you know what I mean? It made no days. Nick Off wasn't on 400k a week. But we weren't pulling in 700 million a year, mate.
Do you know what? Some of those players were earning, relative to our turnover, more than the players who are earning today. When we signed Steve Daly was signed for about, was it 40% of our annual turnover? So that's like 280 million. We had some players who were signed for far more money and paid ridiculous amounts in those days. That's what people forget, is that we had some comically expensive, highly paid players, considering how terrible we were.
Even the Frank Sinatra era, there was some ridiculous wages going on there.
Oh yeah.
Hang on. We have Pep Guardiola and Haaland. When we were in the old Division 1, we had players that nobody in the Premier League. We had better players than some in the Premier League, mate. That doesn't mean anything. Come on. We're being a bit silly now. We're not saying, can I just make this point? And then I'm going to shut up because I need to. I'm now getting vast things to restart my whole laptop and do an update. This laptop is dying a death, so I'm going to leave you with it, Pat and Richard, in a minute. I'll be back. Nobody here, me, Rich or Pat, is saying 1 in 13 is acceptable. What we're saying is the reaction is way over the top, in our opinion, because we will get better. That's our opinion. We will get better. There's this belief that, well, when it gets to 1 in 20, well, if me bloody uncle had, pair of tits, it should be me auntie. What we doing? Can all do is put some maybes.
I'm preparing myself for it to be worse before it gets better, Martin.
Oh,
I think the only way we'll know that
this.
this team is starting to play better again is not necessarily when we start winning a couple of games. It's when we get that game where we bullshit our way to a win, where you go, we win a game 2-1 or something, and you look and you go, we were definitely the worst team on the field.
Yeah,
It's when we get back to that position where we can BS our way into a win against a team, against a plucky team or a good team.
You know what?
We'll turn a new page.
Haaland's been shit
Start
for
playing
2
well
months. Never
I'm
mind,
waiting.
we've got bloody Haaland. Sean Goldwood had a more prolific goal scoring record than bloody Haaland at the minute.
And we all know who'd be more prolific in front of goal.
Right, I'm going to have to reset my thing, lads. I'm going to leave you with it. I will be back.
Auckland Aguero.
I'm getting concerned about your family, my family.
Hey, he's bringing up Chris Wood right as you're leaving, buddy.
Oh, right.
I just want
We
you
ain't
to know.
winning,
Yeah.
we ain't winning until January. Oh, friggin' hell. I'm starting to click who listens to Alan, who listens to Owen. I'm starting to click.
There we go. You don't need to see me anymore.
I'm starting to click who the
Hey.
OB and Alan listen to.
Right, Martin, can you go so we can start the Chris Wood show?
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
I hope someone lets Chris Wood know about that. He's got his own
Good
show.
evening, everyone,
Devoted
and
to
welcome to
bringing
the
in-
Chris Wood Appreciation Society.
Right. So now, from 1 to 11, why Chris Wood would improve City? Like he organises the team. He's got heart. He battles. He scores. We should go down to Forest. 25 million on the table. January 1st. Bring him in. Change the mentality at the club. Get a bit of Wood back into City.
Honestly, he's just a big lad. We can put him at centre back. He would do a job.
He would. He'd be back
Even
there
VM.
stopping goals. He'd be back there stopping goals. He'd be rising up the players. He'd be organising the team. Sorted. It could be, get a bit of pep back, a bit of football Viagra back into City. That's what we need.
Football Viagra.
He'll win the golden
Football
boot, and then they'll
Viagra.
have a presentation at the start of next season, and Chris Killen will bring the trophy out for him.
Yeah. I can already see the statue up there at the, he only played like 25 games, but he gets a statue just because he's the new Andy Morris.
Because he kept us up. He kept us up. He scored that 40th point late in May.
Hey, Martin, where's your season ticket in the Chris Wood stand, mate? I'll meet you at the Concord.
Well, actually, they should rename the family stand the Chris Wood stand. That'd be a good idea.
Might be mid,
Nah, just a Woodstone.
Yeah. Sadly, he probably doesn't want to drop down the
He would do
league
that.
table to play for us now.
Nah, he's a City fan. He would do it. He's absolutely a City fan. He
Yeah,
would do it.
right now it's a downgrade
Yeah.
for him, isn't it?
Yeah. Would he drop down from the top 4 to the mid-table? I don't know about that.
Oh, Rich,
Let's
do
go
you know what? Do you know what? At the moment, I think we're kind of in. I think we're in line at the moment for possibly a really fun time in the second half of this season, because I'm looking at it this way. It's like at this stage we could easily hit the 40 points just as it gets announced we're clear to the 115 charges. So we'll be doing a double avoiding relegation celebration. I just think it'll be fantastic. They'll be partying in the streets.
I was thinking the opposite. I was thinking that they'll give us a really punitive 8 point, really minor 8 points, which will annoy everyone, but will have been so bad it will take us into a relegation place.
Yeah.
And then we'll have the last 5. We'll go down to second bottom with 6 games to go, and we'll have a proper relegation, survival.
Yeah.
And
Or do we
stay up?
Do we
stay
play
up
Spurs
the last
away
day
at all
of
at the end of the season? We have to go to Spurs away to stay up.
In February, yeah.
That'd be quite exciting. They take 10 points off us. We've gone crap, so it puts us down to 31, and then we have to win 2 of our last 3 games to stay up.
Yeah, no, Rich. 2 of our last 4 are Wolves and Southampton. Those are going to be relegation 6 points right there.
6 points.
Oh,
Yeah.
6
We
points.
got Wolves and Southampton back to back.
Or better yet, Haaland does a 93. Haaland does a 93-20 at the end of this season to keep us up, and United go down.
And then next season, the real prospect of Stockport City and United all in the same league.
Yeah.
Because United,
FA Cup, FA Cup's just a warm up. FA Cup, Salford City, it's just a warm up for next season.
Yeah. And anyone who thinks City are bad only has to look across town and see how, anything we do, they manage to do 10 times worse. Like, it was just funny today, the amount of United fans taking the piss out of us against Everton, and then they reach a new low. Although it is sad that they've managed to beat us, despite the fact they seem to have lost about 7 games on the trot apart from that.
Yeah.
But Rich, did you see that they actually managed to concede 2 goals directly from corners in a row?
Yeah.
That has to be a record.
Rich.
No, my camera's just finished.
Your camera's gone.
Just done it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people that's our copium today. What happened at Molineux? So
Right there. I've got rid of my notifications.
Oh, we can talk about Chris Wood no more.
Yeah, who's talking about Chris Wood? You done?
We decided to rename the family stand to the Chris Wood stand.
Griezmann thinks we're getting. No, he didn't. Because someone spoke. I know someone who spoke to Griezmann because that was asked to him. Someone calls it John Baker, and he said he didn't say that. So where's that come from? I think there's been that was a rumor that got going on Blue Moon 4.
Martin,
Just be careful on rumors, Gene Kelly stand.
I think what he said, Martin, was no one knows what would happen.
We could end up with a 40
points. Yeah. He said something like that.
It was a what if, Gene Kelly. He didn't say we will. Do you know what I'll say where I'm at? Do I think 1 in 13 is good? No, it's absolute shite. Top and bottom. Do I think the amount of injuries we've got are playing a massive factor? Yes. When 40%, 40 of your squad is out, take 8 and 9 first team players out of Arsenal, they would fall apart. Take 8 and 9 players out of Chelsea, they would fall apart. That's just football. Have we bought enough? No. Have we made errors? 1000%. But what I don't like is the window is not open and people are wanting us to make changes now. The window is not open. We physically cannot make changes now.
You know what, Martin?
I'm saying.
You know what, Martin? This is the thing. People want it on the 1st of January. You don't really have the bank to even open. No, it can even open on the 1st of January.
And the thing is, I get people are hurting, but it's becoming so toxic because I'm going to be straight with you. But 4 weeks ago, and Danny, you remember we did spaces on this. People were doing cartwheels when Pep signed for 2 more years.
Yep.
Cartwheels. They were having a street party.
That's true.
Alan, who all of you love, was on here going, I want 2 years or else. If I don't get 2 years, I'm pissed off.
They love him because they don't know him.
So he gets 2 years, and then 2 weeks later, well, I'm not sure if he's the man for the job anymore. What?
Get Big Sam through the door.
It's like, come on.
Simeone, why not?
I get. Right, listen, I love LB to bits, and he knows this, and we joke with him. But I know LB, and Danny and Spartacus is going to piss the sides when I say he's coming, and I know why they're laughing, because they'll go, yep. LB will tell you, Ake should not have played, and Simpson Puzzi should have played. Simpson Puzzi would have played today, and Ake was on the bench, and we'd have got beat 3-1. LB would have gone, why has he put a kid on the bench, on the pitch? Why is Ake not on when he sat there fit? This is what we do as fans. We go to what we know. It's not. I'm not trying to go LB. This is what I know happens. I have seen it thousands of times. The fans who were celebrating Pep 4 weeks ago are now saying get out. The people who wanted Simpson Poozy to play today were the ones who said he was a bag of shit against Sporting and Brighton. So what does he do? He played KDB on the bench for, 5 games in a row. And everybody goes, why is he on the bench? Why is he on the bench? Why is KDB on the bench? I don't get it. So he plays him for five games straight. Oh, he's knackered, this KDB. Why has he been playing all these games? Put him on the bench. Now he's back on the bench. Why is he only coming on for 10 minutes? I don't get it. Everybody is flip-flopping. You know why? Because everybody is looking for a solution to an issue. Nobody has got an answer to the 1 in 13. Do you know why there's no answer? Because the window is not open. And the only answer out of this, sadly, is buying. And Jeremy Doku, I will defend people who wins me 4 league titles out of 6, mate. And 4 in a row and 6 league titles out of 8. If anyone I will defend is Pep Guardiola. Don't like it, leave. Simple as. I will defend Pep. Because who did you want him to bring on today? Max Allian? Did you want him to bring on Max Allian?
Yes.
And also, there's another thing that is just, it's getting me angry about this. Like, people saying Foden needs to step up, Haaland needs to step up. You can't ask for a single player to step up when the other 10 on the pitch are playing shit, right? Like, if everybody's playing a 7 out of 10, one player can step up and bring you through and get the win. But if everybody's like a 6, 4 out of 10, you cannot ask one player to step up and play 10 out of 10 and actually go and win us the game. That's just not going to happen. We can't be asking like, oh, we need to score 5 goals before they score the first one so that then we are actually out of the game and we won the game. You cannot be asking that. Sometimes you're going to have to win 1-0 and you can't just be, oh, you got to be playing more attacking football. Sometimes you just can't do that.
This one makes me laugh. Right. BJ, we're toxic because Pep is dumb. He's won treble, domestic treble, 6 titles, 100 points, 4 on a spin. Pep out. Pep out. Come on, mate.
And I also think some people are just very short-term sighted. Like, it's not only about this season.
Let's see it as it is. The spoilt brat Spartacus. They're entitled glory hunting brats.
Yep.
I'm not sugarcoating this anymore. I'm not doing it. I don't care anymore.
I agree.
He has had a bad 3 months and people are Pep out. If you are Pep out, I'm sorry, we are not going to get on this channel.
Yeah, Martin, that's just the way of the world now. There's people who have a bad
And the world shit.
Who have a bad day with their other half, and they move.
No,
I mean,
the ones who
it's
got
just
Pep
people
out
who
ain't got
don't have.
another half. They've got a
There's
K3
people who don't
model
have-
in the right hand.
Yeah,
That's all
they
they've
don't
got.
have to. They don't have to stay in power, and
That's why they've
and
got a girlfriend.
And that's the funny thing is, honestly, go back to those beautiful old main road days.
No, don't reach. We'll get called main road.
I know. I'm going back to those beautiful old main roaders. I would have
in the past.
I would have
So
sold.
if it wasn't for the past, you wouldn't have had a future.
Yeah,
the
but
club would have been wrapped
we would
up.
have all given our right arms to win 1 FA Cup in our lives. The way in the 80s and 90s, we would have winning one thing that would be heaven. And the truth is that there's 92 clubs in England in the league, England and Wales, and 85 of those clubs are going to win next to nothing every season. Every season.
No, Rich,
And,
I'm sorry. Right, can I just answer Robin? Because this is where I am different. I am happy to just be a City fan, Robin. Yes.
Yeah, same here.
As I said, and Danny, please quote my favourite word I have said for 2 years on LB's channel. Am I here for the trophies?
You're not here for the trophies.
What am I here for?
Oh,
For the club.
fuck.
For the
I'm
love of
blanking.
Manchester.
Yeah.
That's all I am, Robin. That's me. If City were in League 3, I'd renew my season ticket, mate, because that's what being a fan is about. The trophies are beautiful. They are an amazing time.
And Robin,
But
if you want critical analysis, then
don't
don't come here.
Robin,
Don't be on
what you
this
said
show if
there,
you want critical analysis.
no, the thing is, mate, your thing at the bottom, you think is a criticism to me. That's a compliment to me. Yes, I am happy to just be a City fan.
You know, the thing that pisses me off the most. The thing that pisses me off the most is that when people don't understand that it's easy to support a team when you're winning trebles, when you're winning everything. The players need you the most when we are in this situation, when the team is struggling. That's when they need our support, and we're just simply not giving it to them. That's just ridiculous to me. I don't understand.
But the Jeremy Doku I have criticised.
Many times, by the
What
way.
you're not listening to, I've criticised.
You
I have criticised loads.
Yeah, you have to be critical at the right time. You have to be critical at the right time, not every time.
Martin, if you're not saying their shit, get out of the club. That's not criticizing, all right?
That isn't criticising. If I come on and go, shit, get out my club, what analytical viewpoint is in that? There is no analysis.
Don't go learn anything.
Kyle Walker needs to leave because A, B, C, and D, then that's an analytical viewpoint. If I say KDB shouldn't renew his contract because A, B, and C, right, then it's analytical. If I come on and just go, Kyle Walker needs to leave because he's 34 and no bed and should get out of the club, he's a dick. There's no viewpoint. That's just me being personal. There's no, I can't. What we try and do on this channel is give you a genuine emotional viewpoint, but with analytical viewpoints behind it. What Kyle Walker has been the best right back in England, but he has been beaten by the most undefeated person in the world by the time. It's caught up with him. He now needs to leave Manchester City Football Club. KDB, injuries has taken its toll and he's mentally not there. I would love him to stay. Some will say the greatest player, some will say the second greatest. I would love him to stay, but he's not going to, the likelihood is. But I'm not going to say get the F out the club. John Stones is I have a physical and mental attraction to John Stones. I love the guy. John Stones is my man crush. And I'm solely going to and I'm saying he needs to go in the summer because he's injury prone.
That's one step too far, Martin. One step too far.
No, but you know what I mean?
Martin, stop being
He can stay as Moonchester if he wants, but he's got to stay.
He will fill in this podcast and roll.
Moody pulls up injured, less to go off.
I was going to say, you need a hamstring to be a mascot.
I'm not saying I want to go and watch Colchester. I'm saying I would. If City stopped winning trophies, I wouldn't stop going. So yes, I am here I am happy to be a fan. Of course I am. Are you not happy to be a fan, Robin? Genuinely, are you not?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Kyle
Most
doesn't
people
need to leave. Pep does. That's fine. No one's gonna agree with you in here, BJ. It's your opinion.
It's your opinion, but we don't need to accept it. We don't need to be like, yeah, you're right. We're gonna be with you on that. Like, we're just not.
I think there's a lot of fans out there that need this season to be shite, just to get that proverbial slap in the face and understand that, like, yeah, this is what football's about. You can't be perfect every year in, year out. Sometimes you have to sometimes you have to take a step back if you have any chance of going 2 steps forward.
I said before, we can go for the trenches.
Yes, I would, Jimmy Grimble. Danny, would you keep John Stones if he took a pay cut and you brought in a couple of more defenders?
Yeah, but it's you can't just give someone a pay cut.
Yeah, it's what pay cut do you mean, Jimmy?
Yeah, it depends on how much the pay cut is.
The other way that would work is like a pay cut and then incentives, if he played a certain amount of games, given his injury history and that. But it's not. And the
apt analog, we treat City like a hypothetical kid, but like, doesn't matter what happens to your kid because you always. No, I do care what happens to my kid. But if my kid No,
That is the
no.
worst analogy ever.
Yeah, because
in human
I'll
history.
explain.
Do you
I
send your
support-
kids to the orphanage because they have a bad week at school?
Yeah, this is what I'm
Or
about
do
to
you,
say.
you send your
So,
kid.
Nick, you don't kill me on the analogy here.
You support your kid through thick and thin. You support your kid through everything. You love your kid through everything, and you look after them through everything. Like, your analogy is just the exact opposite point of what you're making. God's sake.
What an analogy.
I'm sorry,
I just-
Robin, yeah, I agree.
My solution is just turn my phone off on Father's Day.
So what you're saying is, Robin, if your kid gets as a shit time at school for 1 year or at college, you're disowning him. You're getting out the door.
Turn to the kid, get the fuck out of my house.
You're a
You know,
disgraceful
like
family.
like sacking your kid and then going and getting a new kid in is actually illegal in most countries.
Sack your kids.
Rich press conference at the orphanage.
Yeah, it sounds a bit Jimmy Savile-esque to me.
Job interview at the
Find my
orphanage.
kid. I got a couple of new ones.
That's the best one. Right, listen, son, come here. I want to know why for 2 years you've got A+ and A+. What are you doing with this D? Well, I've had a really bad year. I broke my leg, then I broke my arm, then I got a neck, then I broke my neck. So I've got a bit of a problem. Oh, no, sorry. Send him back, lads. He's shit. He's shit the bed. He's only good for 2 years.
You've besmirched the name of this family. Get out.
Yeah, no, Robin. Honestly, with all I respect your opinion, but using a child as that was not the best one because
Robin could be a descendant of Henry VIII. You know,
where I was going with it
off
was
the head.
Manchester City is like a kid to me. That's how I treat it. Honestly, I treat it like a kid. Good, bad, or indifferent. I'm there for it.
Sorry, kid. The orphanage isn't paying the transfer fee.
Doesn't mean my expectations are shit. And what you're telling me is if you have a beautiful looking kid and then they hit the age of 10 and they look like they've been hit by every tree, every stick in the tree, you're disowning it. Plastic surgery. The only answer, lads.
My son's a minger.
Can't believe that. You guys aren't getting it. Not a one-to-one ally, of course. All of us. Listen. No. So what do you mean then? Right, we will go to the latest link. There is a rumor that it was out on City Twitter earlier on. Now this says this is not an ITK thing, by the way. This has come from City Extra, who's put this out, so don't have a go at me. I will say this quite genuinely right now. I'm trying to. Where's the freaking tweet gone?
I sent it to you, Martin, on Twitter.
No, got it now, mate. Thank you. Right, this has come from Andy Barra, who is in the same. It's in the Mail on Sunday tomorrow. Daily Mail tomorrow. It has come that Barcelona's Dani Olmo agent was in Manchester today for the City Everton game, and apparently he has flown over on a private jet for a bit of a holiday. And it is direct quotes. So it's not a rumour. I know it's from the Mail Sport, but it is a direct quote in quotation marks. So he has said it somewhere in some interview. Now, he was the same agent, I believe, that brokered the Josko Gvardiol to RB Leipzig deal, as well as he's also brokered the Dani Olmo to Barcelona deal. Now, apparently, sources, according to Barcelona, sources in Spain this evening, is that Spain or La Liga are going to reject Dani Olmo's registration. It has to be sorted by January the 2nd, is it? 2nd, 3rd?
Around that.
Second.
Just like Barcelona with everything, they'll find some sort of bloody loophole to keep him.
At the moment, they're not doing pack. This is the problem they've got.
Well, Martin, he's also Negredo's agent, so that's our backup striker sorted.
Well, this is the other thing I was going to say. He's now the one thing it does say in the Daily Mail is that it could be being used as a negotiation tactic to force La Liga into making a decision. But what it does say is they're not sure La Liga will make the one they want.
I know quite a bit about this Barcelona situation. It's a very tough situation for them because Barca right now, they sold a lot of the future revenue and they're getting very little. They're getting about 25% less money from TV revenues that they should have been because they sold it to pay the leavers, to do the leavers. But they're facing a problem now because the two main levers they got was the Barca Studios and the future revenue for TV revenue. The Barca Studios one, they're getting paid installments, but they registered it as a full-on payment. But at the beginning of this season, La Liga changed the way that they could have. They changed the way that they could have registered the sale, as they had to register it instead of being paid all in one go. Let's say like this, they had to register each installment as one payment. So they have a lot less room to work on the financial FFP than they had on the summer. So it's a very hard situation for them right now. The only way I see them getting almost registration is if they sell Frankie de Jong or they manage to get the whole money for the Barca Studios thingy.
Yeah.
I don't know if I made it clear.
They're going to try and get Frankie de Jong out in January because in the last 3 days there's been loads of leaks to the Barcelona friendly press that Frankie de Jong's trying to engineer leaving on a free, that he's refusing to sign a new contract so that he can make lots of money. So they're making an effort to try and push him out. So they obviously, that they need de Jong off their books, and they're obviously trying to engineer it now by leaking all these stories about him trying to screw over Barcelona and stuff like that.
I've also heard that Pedro and Gavi.
I'd love another De Jong at our City.
Yeah, I wouldn't be against that either.
Now, see, he's a player you could get, but you're going to have to pay a little bit more than you want because he's giving up his 400k a week or 500k a week contract, whatever it is.
From what I've heard, it's closer to 600k, Rich.
So you're probably going to have to pay, we're not going to pay more than 400k to a player or 350k coming in. So you've got to pay him probably a 15 million sign-on fee or something like that to get over that. But he's the sort of player you could get. We could go and get him in January. He hasn't played that many games this season. Has he been injured or?
A bit of both. He had been injured and he has
And
been some favors.
Just having a look at
throw this one up. He has also been linked to Man United and had agreed personal terms with them the other day.
Who? Frankie de Jong?
Nope, Dani Olmo.
Dani Olmo. Okay.
You got to remember, if Dani Olmo is on a free, we ain't going to be the only game in town on that.
Yeah, but I don't see him going to Man United.
No, there's not Cade. Cade, no. And Cade, no, there is no LB show tomorrow. Please, I know you're trying to help, mate, but it's going to make the situation a whole lot worse if you get involved.
Yeah. I'm
staying out of that at the moment. That's not between me anymore, mate. Cade, little bit of advice, stay out of it at the minute. Let them.
The other one that but the Barca they released in these stories about De Jong is they've said they'll accept 20 million euros for him, which means they'd probably accept nothing for him. They're trying to get him off the books. Because if they're saying in 20 million, that means they know they're not going to get close to that.
Couldn't we just make like the same thing that Benfica did to the? No, Daniel was not crap. He's an amazing footballer.
Oh, you're scared. What side is he? What side does he play on, Spartacus? Left or right?
Doesn't he come? He plays off the right hand side, doesn't he?
Daniel, which side's he off?
He plays off the right.
Anywhere, literally anywhere.
Can he play off the left?
He can play left,
I think he
right,
can play
and
all
That's
middle.
why
Yeah.
Jeremy
He can play
Doc is
all-
getting one of his boys going out on the team. That's why he's saying his crap. I figured you out. Bingo.
But Martin, he's playing more central. He's playing more central this nowadays.
Hey, I like this, Dean. Over 50 years, City have been shit for 38, good for 12. Exactly. So I'm used to this. We've been shit for the majority of it.
No, we were brilliant for a few months under Brian Horton. What a
I like the
team.
way he said I came to Manchester.
Peter Reid.
for holiday, though. Like you come to Manchester for an holiday. Ronaldo's trying to leave the plane.
That's
We have to get Gunda to
yeah.
talk to Gunda.
We shouldn't settle for the Championship
Yeah.
and Conference League just because we won the treble once.
Yeah. Actually, a football agent saying that they're going on Manchester for a holiday is about as believable as, those KGB agents saying they went to Salisbury to see the cathedral. I mean,
Stop it. I'm not ignoring you, Chris. I haven't got to the super chats yet, mate, because I'm still halfway down. I'm just scanning. So when I'm coming to your super chats, don't worry, Chris. I will
But
read
couldn't it be possible for us to just pay a fraction of the Young's wages and let Barca pay the rest? We go to them like, oh, we're gonna pay enough for you to be able to register.
What game are you playing? We just pay 100 and you pay the other 3 for
We literally did that for. Didn't we do that for Otamendi?
Have you been watching Hamza?
No, we have to pay our Mendy off.
Oh, we had to pay him off. I thought we were paying like the. Oh, I thought we kept paying the wages.
You don't pay later on. You're not forever paying it. You just
Okay.
pay a chunk. You pay. Say he's got 18 months left, and the difference is 100 grand. You pay 100 grand times
okay.
18.
Fair
How
enough.
many weeks is 18 months? 52. So call it 80 weeks for round figures. You would pay 100 grand times 18 and give that to one lump sum.
Mm-hmm. You got it.
So
I
you're
thought
not
that
paying it
we
based
kept
on
paying.
months.
I thought we kept paying through the contract.
No, you pay it as one lump. You
Uh-huh.
pay it through the back door. So do you ever hear about thingy bonuses when they give you the
Sign up bonuses.
No, when they give you loyalty bonus.
Mhm.
It's a sweetener. But a loyalty bonus is you back up your wages in a nice way of saying it. So if Jack Grealish goes to Villa, you'll get, City are giving him a loyalty bonus for being such a great guy for 3 years down the line. No, that's the sweetener to Villa down the road to get rid of the wages.
Mm-hmm.
The argument was cat man's logic. I'm just happy to be a CM because we're always the best for our kid, and hence won't be happy seeing the languishing in mediocrity. I'm happy as long as my kid's happy, Robin. Anyway, I need to read the super chats. My apologies. Chris, thank you for your tenner. Here's the tenner, Martin. Can we put a docu for the rest of the season? Some fans will say you can have him for 3 years. Keep going, lads. Wait till Jan. Reku will bring in some superstars. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, Chris. And I appreciate all the support on the spaces as well, mate. You need to buy Frankie de Jong's 7-inch destroyer. Well, that ain't you, Rich. 249. Thank you very much.
Am I allowed to say pause, or am I going to get called an LB mutant?
No, you can say it.
Pause.
I mean, someone said to me, someone's already DM'd me, what's your beef with LB? There is no beef. It's called banter. There is banter in other countries, isn't there? They do banter in other countries.
Yes.
Is it called-
We banter a lot.
Is it me? Do we not do the banter in the same way? Because I do think it gets lost in translation sometimes.
I don't think so. I just think some people just like a little bit of social skills.
I don't know. Because someone actually thinks me and LB hate each other. I'm like, what? Get Nico Williams. He's on daily. Is he on 300, 280?
Yeah, he's on a wage and a half.
There are now. Dash knows this.
We've probably got more chance of getting his brother.
I think
A backup to Haaland.
I think that's part of the problem, Rich. I think because his brother there, that would be a problem.
I think his brother is about to retire. To be fair.
Yeah, he's getting on, isn't
Oh,
he?
piss off, Rico. You couldn't have won it. You were crap. Deal with it. I'm only joking. Well earned point. You did it. Second half. You had me worried on the 4-on-2, 100%.
Yeah, Martin.
because I was in and out of the stadium because I had to leave a little bit early because I went to a family party, and one of the stewards caught me outside having a smoke and said hello. So hello to them. I didn't catch your name, but hello to you. Go on, Dash.
Yeah. Yeah, Williams, listen, I think it's the hardest to get out, in my opinion. More than Kvaratskhelia because he got a 200/250k wage. And teams are not touching that because if he goes to another club, he wants 300k. So imagine that. He's not going to decrease his pay wage, his wage structure for another club. There's no way.
Yeah.
That's why if you got a winger to bring in the summer, I think he'd be bottom of the list. Unless he's okay with 200k or 150k to come in at first and then level up as time goes on. That depends on what it is.
Sorry, I just need to make sure I'm reading this right. FIFA, Ethan, sorry.
Oh my word.
I'm off now. Top show. Get Messi, Souček, Vardy, Trent, Virgil van Dijk, and Salah. Catch you, please.
Souček.
No, listen. Get over to my Twitter. I have put a lovely post to FIFA's teacher who's I think's passed away. There is a GoFundMe account up which you can go and support. So yeah. Wirtz hasn't agreed a new contract with September. There's potential we challenge for him. September.
I actually almost felt
in the
that
September. I hope we're
their
not
CEO was. I almost felt that their CEO, when they talked to the press a couple of days ago, was inviting bids for Wirtz. They were pretty clear. He hasn't agreed a new deal. He's not close to agreeing a new deal, and they're not certain what will happen. I think they want to avoid him going to Bayern at all costs. And
yes, definitely.
I know a bit about
City
this.
to break a record.
And this is not ITK shit. Because I have three people on this right now who listened and spoke to the same person. I know someone who represents Jumba Bar, or is one of his reps, and there is interest, but City aren't sure. It's more of a loan him out signing. That came from one of his reps on one of my spaces, and he's a genuine former football player, and it has been verified.
Okay, I remember it.
Yeah, genuine former football player. Guy called Tete, top guy. Big shout out to Tete. I love you, mate. You are a superstar. Can't wait to speak to you again. Tete is a top bloke, and trust me, he'll tell you the story one day. I'm going to try and get him on here as a guest one day because I think it'd be amazing to get him on. He nearly signed for Newcastle. He nearly signed for Newcastle, but Newcastle were tight asses and couldn't afford the $2.5 million to buy him. It was when Alan
that
Pardew
ACL story was crazy.
I'm not sure if he can come on though, but because he's very good mates with a current City player, and we're definitely not getting him on. We're not getting him on the show.
It's very hard, I'd say, because some City
I've got no chance of getting him on.
Yeah, mine. On some City colleagues, they also have an obligation to work. They may not be able to appear on media shows that they're licensed to, so it can be a bit hard, depending on what it is. But
can I just say this from Luke, not my lifetime? Great show tonight, lads. What we all need right now is the fan base. Stop fighting, join together and support the team. It's all gotten out of hand recently. This isn't us whatsoever. And you know what? I wholeheartedly agree with that. The way we're acting at the minute is crazy. There's an opinions and there are opinions. But at the moment, it's getting so personal. So personal. There is genuinely a group out there that are trying to get the main road mob out. Genuine. I'm being serious. You saw the amount of people. It's actually got hashtag main road mob. It's actually known as main road Twitter. Honestly, Pat, Rich, when you finish with your dogs, put in Twitter or X, main road Twitter. Jesus.
Crazy.
I'm gonna have a look
I'll have
now.
to look at that.
Even though I don't have.
Oh, Big Steve got called a mong by a fellow City fan last week.
Oh, that's gonna hurt.
I don't know what the hell's going on. The place has gone crazy.
We've got to get back to where we were in the late 90s when we were terrible, where it was funny. We just took the piss. We went to places like, Chesterfield and Wickham, and it was comedy. It was comedy gold at times. Never forget a mate of mine.
What do you mean? Kind of being hence 2 or 3 gone.
It was just funny, and we need to get some of that sense of humour back. We're in a relegation battle with United to, heading down to the
me and Kelly stand. I don't know what's going on.
Championship.
I'm not getting involved because I'm friends with both. I'm not getting involved, mate. Ooh, Blue Army, win, lose or draw, City B and booze or Vigo. Bollocks to the vegan, but a cannibal latte sounds very good. Anyway,
Is that a breach of contract with Costa?
yeah. Has anyone noticed I've gone with Starbucks tonight?
You turncoat bastard.
Betrayal.
I just think from a country where we make decent coffee now, I just find
The best coffee,
horrifying.
Rich. The best
I
coffee.
find it's absolutely horrifying what people put into coffee.
No,
Milk's one thing,
no,
but putting in
no.
bloody caramel. Oh god!
Seen someone put butter in it. I was like, what the hell?
Right, no, forget that.
You want to hear something crazy? Oh, Danny might know this because you're American.
go on.
Who is it? Will Levis, the quarterback for Tennessee Titans. He puts mayonnaise in his coffee.
I saw that.
No.
That is vile.
Sorry,
What?
sorry, I thought
He
we were
puts mayonnaise in his coffee.
Mayonnaise?
Yeah.
Nah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Football show. Let me just do because we're going. Anyone for biscuits? Anything on the pork? I'm coming back. No, I'm telling you honestly. People are seriously like, I'm waiting. Not you, Dean. I'm not going to go at you, but I'm seriously waiting for the Claudio Bravo and Richard Dunn tweets.
You know what?
That'd be so
I'm going
good.
to say one thing. Fernandinho has just been relegated. We should be in for him. It's going to be cheap.
Yep, I'm all for that.
Where's Alan? Alan is having a communal break.
Communal.
Not noticed it.
He's opened his Christmas present. This is shit. This is shit. This is.
Is it a step or is it more of a cliff? He signed a contract extension last year. I'm not saying him, but I personally like him. Yeah, I do think Grealish will leave as well. I do at the end. Costa or Starbucks, he'll be a Stockport fan next. You'll tweet, you'll WhatsApp me that in a bit. I won't sack the dogs no matter what. Putting me that on for Rich.
Well, I'm waiting for someone to suggest I'll sack the dogs. They've had a couple of weeks, haven't been as good, so
Hang on, this.
I'm sticking by them through thick and
Who
thin.
said lone pep? Someone said lone pep. Where's that?
Loan out.
Loan out.
Lone out pep.
Loan Pep to Chelsea.
Someone said that.
Right.
You should have sat Pep and got Maresca already earlier. I said, oh my God. You know, like recency bias just appears from anywhere.
How about Simeone, man? Why not be terrorist football?
Right. Final thoughts, gentlemen, before we end the show.
Just hit 2 hours, mate. Look at that.
Danny, any sunlight on the horizon, or is it a forever darkened state?
We'll be fine.
4
We are-
bottom. 42 points.
It will get
get
worse
42.
before it gets better. But, trust the
Jesus.
team.
If we can't beat Leicester and West Ham, we've seen the next pictures afterwards. Ain't getting no better.
Oh, no. February, we're getting 0 points. February, we're getting 0 points. But,
Also, we're going to improve. Then we're going to make the signings, and then we're going shit again.
Martin, you missed what is happening, and I think you're off. You're fixing your computer when this happened. Is we're going to get deducted something really measly, like about 8 points for the 115.
Yeah, you were off camera.
It's going to push us. It's going to push us into a relegation spot with 5 games to go, and we're going to have to win. We're going to have to win 2 of the last 3 in a battle with United of relegation, and we stay up in the last week. United go down. It's in the stars.
Rich, I said Haaland will score a 93-20 for us to stay up and
relegate United.
No. Haaland with the Dennis Law back heel.
United's going down.
You see, Robin, I love you, mate. But what are you doing here? We won the treble, and people are saying we need to go back to the 90s. When was this ever said?
What?
When did I ever say go back to the 90s?
There's nothing wrong with going back to a 90s mentality where everything is just you can just have fun with it all.
Yeah,
we just don't want to go back to.
I'm presuming that's
Robin. All you need in life is to be happy. If you're happy in life, you've had a good life. And if you mentally crack up whenever you lose a couple of games and strive for the impossible, you're never going to be happy. And what's the point?
Dash, what are you expecting? You expecting us to get better?
Like I said before, you've got to go for the trenches. Go for the trenches. Survive first. I think Leicester will be a draw. I'm going to say that. I don't feel confident out there. No, I wasn't surprised that Jimmy Vardy fucking put the top bins over fucking Edison's head or something. But I just think at first it's going to be a tough road. But I've just got a sneaky feeling about February for some reason. Everyone's better to be shit, but I got a sneaky feeling that we'll pop something out of the bag.
Yeah, we're expecting 0 points, so 1 point is profit, 1 point is above expectations. Yeah. Anyway.
Danny, how about this? Danny? How about a draw at Tottenham and we just lose all ideas away? How about
that?
Pat? Just be prepared that it may still get worse before it gets better. I don't think we'll turn. I mentioned before on the show. I said I don't think we'll turn a new page until we have a result where we bullshit our way to a win. Like we somehow get 3 points, and even though we were the worst, we were the worst team on the field. This is going to take time. Hopefully, the new blood that comes in January will rejuvenate the squad a little bit. So right now, it's just we just got to take things for what they are. We are. I mentioned before, we are trying to basically win a Grand Prix with only 3 tires and water in the fuel tank. So it's going to take time, guys. And I've made my peace with this season. So, hey,
what?
We're trying to win a thing with water in the fuel tank.
Yeah, it's just crap. Man. Yeah,
Alex.
The sooner you can learn to accept that things are just crap at the moment, the sooner you can function as a person. So, the way I see it, mate, it's just like there's every possibility it could get worse before it gets better. And like a few months of just absolute drab football will never supersede the last 4 or 5 seasons of absolute joy that this club's given me. So, if you want to call me Happy Clapper, that's fine. I don't care. But at the end of the day, it's like I've made my peace with this season, and sometimes you got to take a step back to go 2 steps forward. So let's just see what the next few seasons bring. But if we don't win the next 2 games, Pep out.
Spartacus, Sam Allardyce.
Yeah, we have to loan Pep to Chelsea so that Chelsea can win the league and get Sean Allardyce in.
Sean.
Who the bloody hell, Sean Allardyce?
Sam Allardyce.
I heard he used to manage.
Big Sam.
He's the child that was sent to the orphanage.
He's the child of minus.
You lot do know that Sam Allardyce is actually working for City at the moment. So he's already on
Bring him in.
So,
he's ready to
go. We wouldn't even have to offer. We just have to. All we have to
bring Big Sam in.
From the studio down to the change room, and he's ready. I think Sam's positioned himself exactly where he wants to be. He's at the club amongst the hierarchy, and he's ready to step in.
Midfield.
So if we lose to Leicester, it's got to be Sam Allardyce. It's the only
bring
way.
Big Sam in.
I think. Yeah, and I think start pumping. Sign Chris Wood, Sam Allardyce, big long balls, stay up, 42 points. And the best thing is, United aren't going to get the 6 points in the rest of the season to catch us anyway.
And we're clear to the 115.
Still going to be the top team in Manchester.
Perfect. Love
no, Robbie. We're not saying you mean malice. You misunderstood us. What we're saying is, Fans didn't melt down like this in the 90s. And we were
I know.
worse.
They sometimes did. I saw some brilliant meltdowns in the lower league.
No, they did, but no. Do you know what? It's very hard to judge because social media wasn't a thing then. I suppose if social media had been around, Alan would be all over it like a bloody fly around shit. No doubt.
Martin, you can see the trauma I still suffer today because of bloody Wycombe Wanderers.
Oh, shut up!
You're a bloody meltdown about that now. 30 years later, I'm still melting down.
Rich, did you ever hear the story that David Mooney from Blue Moon Podcast was mentioning? This was the Stuart Pearce season when we didn't win a game at home for like half a season. And he said,
we did have a teddy bear on the side of the pitch.
He said he was sitting in the I think it was in the East Stand, and a couple of City fans stood up and tried to sing like "Come on City" to try and get the crowd going, and then like as soon as they said that, some other mate just stood up in the middle of the crowd. He goes, "Will you shut up? People are trying to sleep."
I like that. 1-1-5 FC relegation. Check.
There we go.
Yeah. Pat, I remember
Rich, no, Pete, I'm getting complaints here. I'm trying to go home to bed. I was end it. Anyway, Rich, you think we're going to get better? Well done. Right, anyway.
The only way is
before we go, couple of things. There is a Vincent Kompany prize you can win. A signed captain's mini company, 39p. The competition does end on 30th of December 2024, just for midnight. Live draw Monday, 30th of December. So you got 3 days to go. And tickets are only 39p. You can have 699 tickets in the draw if you would like. That's all there is in the draw. And plus, if you do find the 500, 501, 502, 503, you instantly get an upgrade on your prize. And the Vincent Kompany signed shirt plus £25 effort, football prizes, site credit. And if you find an instant win upgrade ticket, 995, 996, 997, you win the whole competition. You win the framed Vincent Kompany signed shirt. So there you go. What a prize. Footballprizes.co.uk. It is UK only. My apologies, not my fault. It is Football Prizes. An amazing prize. Get over there. And on Saturday, yes, I've spelt Leicester wrong. I know I do it every frigging time. I will change it. But we are back up on Big Up on Saturday. On Sunday, don't go on there on Saturday. On Sunday with Leicester City versus Manchester City on Big Up, the full live watch along. I will update the thumbnail, but it will be on there. We kick off at 2 p.m. over on Big Up on Sunday. So there you go. And yes, I know it's hard. I know people are upset. City have won 1 out of 13. It is crap. It is bad. But the window is approaching. It's starting to gape open a little bit. I'm sure from the 2nd of Jan, City will slam it open and we'll spend that checkbook.
And the headline will be City get wood.
That's the most important thing. Get wood.
You just froze, Marty.
Yeah, City get wood because Rick needs Viagra. Anyway, what I'm going to say is City's limp dick resolve with wood. Who needs Viagra when you've got wood? That'd be an amazing thumbnail, that.
Exactly.
That's us demonetised. Anyway, everyone, big thank you to Spark. Where can everyone find you, boys?
Twitter.
Just find me on Twitter.
Oh, wow.
Twitter.
Well, that's so explanatory. That. Go and follow. Just put Danny. There's only about 5 million. Spartacus, they are 5543. He's got a bit more. Dash, I will not say where to find him on Twitter because you won't find him as Dash.
Pat and me will be at the Nag's Head.
I will tell you now, the spaces with me and Tone are over. They're finished. due to Tone leaving social media. They have ended. I don't know what will happen, whether we can get them going on Blue Sky. I don't know if that happens. Whether I know they're not doing them at the moment, but we'll have a look. Tony's going to be on YouTube, though. He is staying on here, which we kick off in January with a show, and it will be named every single week or 2 weeks, called the Happy Clappers Show. Presented by me and Tone. Well, yes, the spaces of me and Tone are finished, I'm afraid. I will try and make mine a bit more like them. We'll see who we can get in. But yeah, this is just all I'm going to say is, yes, you may not all agree. We may be not all accepting of what we're saying, but please don't. It's getting so toxic out there now. And I know it's football. I know it's, but come on, we shouldn't be doing on the personal stuff.
Yeah, football shouldn't be personal.
Yeah, we shouldn't be doing that. We're all City fans. We all support in our own way. It is all opinions, but this is getting silly. Really is. There's a reason why I sort of stayed off LB's channel for it, but it wasn't LB. It was the some of the chat were being very, very nasty to me. And it wasn't anybody in here, but it was, you know, and it was getting noticeable. People were getting really nasty with me. And we don't do that for that. Come on. I know we put our face out. We're going to take criticism. Fine, but come on. Even LB was like, you know, I know. Even LB asked me why I wasn't going on as much. So I was honest, and he knew already. You know, just be a bit kind to people. We're not all going to agree. If we all agreed, it'd be boring because you'd all just watch one show and then go to bed. That's all.
Just respect. Just show some respect. That's it.
I know it's hard, but your family's first. Always remember your family's first. Got told that from someone very good. But loads coming up on the channel. Stuff in January with 1894, touch wood. Get that planned. There's loads coming up. We'll do a fan calling show next week. We'll sort something out. But what I want to say is we'll see you all on Sunday with a watch along on Big Up and then the post match on here Sunday night. And then there won't be anything then till 30th, 31st. I'm not here New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. So we'll move it to the next day. But we'll sort it out probably Thursday next week. It's just mad at the minute with it being Christmas and New Year.
Yeah, family first, innit? Let's spend the Christmas Eve and New Year with family.
Yeah, family, health first.
On.
Oh, by the way, yeah, Tom's brother had a heart attack today as well at the game. He's okay, thankfully. But yeah, that's what I mean. Let's
big up what Tommy Doyle and his Tommy Doyle and his missus are expecting their first child in a few months' time as well.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Played a nice 3-0 for Wolves to score the second against the Rags today as well.
No, but I know that took a lot today. But I know it's great by Tommy Doyle, but they told his brother.
Yeah.
An heart attack today, which is sad.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But yeah, no, take care all, and we'll see you on the next one. Say you're bad, but don't make you bad. Have an opinion, but keep it.
Respect people.
Take care, and we'll see you on the next one. Happy Christmas, and we'll see you for a brand new year.
And Oxford won a relegation 6-pointer, so it's not all bad. Come on.
They always say, end it on an high, we're ending it with a wanker. Bye.